What am I reading in the month of August? Stick around and find out. Hi friends, welcome back to Pages and Chaos, and my pile of possibilities for the month of August is a little bit smaller than usual. I'm in a teeny tiny bit of a readathon burnout, so I figured August was just like a perfect month to kind of mood read and see what I want to read. There are a couple of book club books that I am going to read this month. I think there's like two buddy reads, so I'll go over those. I think there's about 3 books that are on my must reads for this month, and then anything else is either just gonna be mood reads or maybe I'll just stick with those 3. But between June and the Amazing Readathon, and then July, the Hunger Games Readathon, and Catch-Up-a-thon, I just needed a little bit of break because, as much fun as I had with those, I just kind of needed a month off to mood read. So these are the books that I plan on reading for August. Well, the first book that's on my pile of possibilities is Hot and Sour Suspects. This is the 8th book in the Noodle Shop Mysteries that I've been unofficially buddy reading with the Comfy Cozy Book Club. And this time, Lana Lee and her friend Megan have decided to set up a speed dating event, and one of their friends joins to try to find a date. I think it was one of the friends from a previous book that is still new to the town. And the person that she goes on a date with winds up the victim of the next murder. And she's the suspect, so of course Lana is going to try to clear her friend's name. And I'm excited to see how that plays out. The next book that I'm going to read this month is The Life We Bury. And this is a must read because this is my August pick by Lindsay at Lindsay's Little Library. And I'm very excited to read this one. I did a whole introduction on it, but this is about Joe, who has a college paper to write, which is a biography about somebody. And he has nobody picked out until he decides to go to this nursing home where he meets Carl, who is a Vietnam veteran, but is also dying from cancer. But he also spent 30 years in prison for a murder of a young girl. So he's going to try to figure out if all of this is true, because everything that he learns about him, from being a Vietnam War hero to what is he's learning about this crime, just isn't matching up. So I'm very excited to read that and see where that goes. The next book that's on my must-read list for August is A Reaper at the Gates. This is the buddy read that I'm doing with Krista and Sarah. Absolutely love this series so far. This is the 3rd book, and this is still following... Sorry, my cats are just going a little crazy right now, but you know, the chaos. They're just kind of fighting. Not fighting, they're playing, but they're chasing each other. But anyway, back to A Reaper at the Gate. So this is following Laya and Elias and Helene still. And now there's some new situations that I can't spoil because it will spoil the first 2 books for you. But they are going to continue on their fight and their journey. And I can't wait to see how this whole thing ends. And something that I did find out that I am looking into, but so far I can't find them, is there are graphic novel adaptations that I think there are like prequels to this series. Yeah, so that is something I'm going to be looking into and seeing if I can get my hands on that. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. And the last book that is on my must read for this month is an Agatha Christie. I am reading The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. This is going to be my first Agatha Christie. I do realize that this is actually 4th in the series, but I heard that you didn't necessarily have to read the other ones that came before it to read this one. And I didn't know that when I originally bought this, so I am still going to read it, but I do plan on going back to read the first 3 in the series. And I am actually a co-host with, I believe, 4 other lovely ladies, or 3 other lovely ladies and Hannah, for the Comfy Cozy Book Club this month for Agatha August. So this is my pick, and Hannah at the Comfy Cozy Book Club has invited me along with the other co-host to join her for sprints and her discussion at the end of the month, and I am super excited for that, and I am so honored that Hannah has asked me to be one of the co-hosts. So The Murder of Roger Ackroyd is about a widow who seemingly has taken her own life, and then the next day, her fiance, Roger Ackroyd, has been stabbed, and they are discovered by a local physician, and it turns out that everybody in the Ackroyd house has an alibi except for the stepson. So, of course, Hercule Poirot is going to be the detective that looks into this case, and I'm excited because this is the first time that I'm ever going to read an Agatha Christie. I always wanted to dive in, but I'm finally taking the leap. Now, I do have a couple of other possibilities, but it all depends on how I do with these books and if I can get these books from the library or order these books. So one of the other books that I plan on buddy reading with the Comfy Cozy Book Club is the next book in the Spell Shop series. That's the Enchanted Greenhouse. I haven't gotten my hands on that book yet, but I do have a trip to Barnes & Noble planned this month, so I am going to try to pick that up. And I might get to it this month or I might get to it next month. I'm not sure. And then another book that I might possibly try to find and pick up, I got to see if like Book of the Month has it to be an add-on, is the next book in the Heartless Hunter duology, and that is The Rebel Witch, because I loved that book. I read it last month in July for the catch-up-a-thon. So those two books I am going to look into seeing if I can get them and maybe try to read them this month. But other than that, those are the books. Like I said, it's very teeny tiny this month, but if you've read any of these books, let me know down in the comments your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. And if you haven't read them and you're just intrigued, let me know what's intriguing you. I'd love to hear all of your thoughts. And if you're not really in the mood to comment or you're just a little shy, then leave me a stack of books emoji in the comment just to let me know that you are here and that you watched this video. And that's all I have for today. Bye.